But for the moms that are like me, that are in this kind of situation that I'm currently in, I'm out here trying to tell them, hey, there is another life beyond children. You don't know, when your kids are older, you don't always have to put 100% of your time in them anymore. So then what do you do? And for a lot of women, they pause because for me, it's been 11 years. Who am I anymore? And a lot of women ask themselves that question at this time of life.
Were
I'm
you?
here to show
Who were you
who,
before?
who was I before?
Years ago.
So many, many, many years ago. I actually graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Madison with an economics degree. I was fully expected to go into business. I moved to Minnesota because of a major company here paid for me to be here. And that was my trajectory at that time. And now it's completely different.
So when you got married, that's when the things changed?
Not right away. So we got married, waited 5 years to have children. The minute my son was born, that was it. Everything changed.
So you became a mother, reality set in. I mean, things had to change. But then when did you lose yourself? And when did you take a look in the mirror and say, what have I become? Because naturally you want
That
to
would
be
be
a mom.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I am a good mom, but at the same time, I know I make mistakes. Right. And I know that I'm not the best mom in the world and I will never put that crown on my head because I make mistakes on the daily as a mom. But the time that was the hardest was after my daughter was born, because that was the time that we decided that I would be home and that would be it. Right. So I left my job, had my daughter, and then that was it.
Who decided this? You and your husband together?
Correct. Yeah. We sat down, we talked about it.
What was the reasons that what was the thing that you talked about that made you decide to
Yeah. So, number one, biggest concern, and I know this sounds terrible, but it's finances. So, the amount of money that we were paying for childcare for my son was almost half of my salary, right? So, you multiply that by two, what am I working for anymore? Right. And then that translated to, okay, I'm working for someone else to raise my children, right? What's the point of that? So, that's why we decided that it's best for me to stay home at that point.
I think that's good for people to hear because that is a major crippling factor in making the decision. Childcare. I was fortunate when I raised my daughter that even when I went back to college, which they even provided daycare there, and my daughter went to class with me a lot of times. I was like, man, this is like really cool, and I get it. You really want to be in those formative years. You really want to be really there with your children, and then what happens is you get immersed in watching them evolve, from elementary to whatever and going off to college. You actually become part of that beautiful painting. So it's kind of hard to do that. How do you think your life is going to change now? Because your kids are at that middle part, and it's funny to say they need more attention now because this is what happens is that peer pressure, football games, soccer, proms, boyfriends, girlfriends, first crushes, you know, you're going to be all over the place.
For the place now. So thank you for scaring me for the future because it will only get worse. So yes, I'm also a taxi driver. I've been promoted to taxi driver. That's what I tell myself. I often joke that I'm going to put a tip jar in my car because I drive my kids everywhere. But yes, they still very much need me now. So my son does do football. My daughter does gymnastics. My daughter's incredibly social. Holy crap. She is going everywhere all the time. My son's more into video games, so that's more patrolling in a different way, but they still very much need me, right? But again, it's that weird transition point that they need me less and less and less. And being okay with that is really important. It really, really is.